Today my guest is Martin Schray of Microsoft. Martin, how are you, sir?
I'm great. Thanks for spending some time with me today.
Thank you. What do you do?
So I manage our audience evangelism business in the Heartland District and in the Midwest District.
What does that mean? What is an evangelist?
What is an evangelist? That's a great question. Evangelist really is someone that, if you think about what they're doing, they're trying to create awareness, they're trying to inspire people's creativity. And in the case of Microsoft, evangelism is about creating interest in unleashing creativity, enabling creativity on our platform.
Okay. Those are kind of broad goals that you stated there, enabling creativity, a lot of inspiration. What specifically are people doing on your team?
So that's a great question. I think if you look at a high level what our team's really trying to accomplish, there's a number of things going on, but at a high level it's really around creating awareness, interest in Azure, creating awareness and interest around Windows Phone 7.
Okay.
Some of the ways that we do that is boot camps. We've done Azure boot camps. And so, there's a couple different formats you could approach, right? One is you and I met at the Windows Phone 7 boot camp. Day one was kind of an open format or is it day two is more of an open format. Day one is kind of, here's a set of topics, we'll walk you through topics. It's more of classical training.
Eyes front.
Eyes front, totally.
Slides
yep.
and code.
What we've tried to do over the last 2 years is, there has to be some element of that because I think you have to create a baseline so people have an idea of what the capabilities are and how to approach it on the Microsoft platform.
Sure.
But day two, we've tried to do these kind of more open formats, which is what we've been experiencing today, which is, get the bits installed, actually experiment with it. There's some hands-on labs, so you can have structure if you want it, and there's also open times to build out your own application if that's what you envision.
Sure.
And we've seen people do that
And
today.
you've got people walking around that are familiar with technology helping out.
Yes, even I was helping out today.
I haven't even helped me out yet, but I'll get you in my corner soon.
Good.
Now, who's the audience for this?
Well, it's actually interesting that you asked that. When you think about Windows Phone 7, if you think about Microsoft classically, there are enterprise customers, large corporations, there are mid-sized customers, and there's ISVs, so independent software vendors that are building their own applications. On phone, we see that a little bit differently. Our phone, Windows Phone 7 just launched on Monday. There's a lot of interest around it. It's definitely a consumer device, and there'll definitely be corporations that develop applications for it. But the interesting thing about Windows Phone 7 is we see any developer, right? So somebody that might have a full-time day job but wants to write some applications and monetize them can do that. And in fact, my role at Microsoft, I'm a director at Microsoft, but I still write code some. And so I've been working a little bit on an application that I'll end up getting.
We'll see in the App Store soon?
We'll see in the App Store soon, yes.
So is that typical? Now, Windows Phone 7 is just one piece of technology that Microsoft offers. You've got Azure, you've got the whole .NET platform, you've got all the server products, and you're evangelizing all those things, right?
We are, so if you look at the team, we kind of have three roles on our team. Well, one group is working specifically in academic audience, working in higher ed with faculty and students, usually around science, technology, engineering, and math,
okay,
with a focus on technology.
Higher ed meaning college and beyond?
College and beyond,
okay.
Absolutely. The second group is kind of developers, which is the audience we've had today at the Windows Phone 7 event. And there's another group of our team that actually does IT related stuff. Okay. So they're doing deployment right now. So okay. A lot of interest in Windows 7, a lot of interest in Office 2010. What's the best way to get those deployed? What's the easiest way to get those deployed? Whether you have 50 employees or 5,000 employees. So we're kind of covering off, to your point, we're covering a number of topics. The main pillars on the developer side are really around Azure, Windows Phone 7. On the IT side, it really is around deployment of Windows 7, Office 2010. On the academic side, we have this thing called the Magic Cup, which we're really excited about.
Oh, tell me about that Magic Cup.
Sure.
Jennifer Marsman mentioned that to me.
So Magic Cup is the largest student technology competition in the world. I like to think about it kind of like the Olympics, right? So if you think about the Olympics, there's this big event, there's all these different activities that go on during the Olympics. In the same way, Imagine Cup is a technology competition with a whole bunch of subcategories. So one category is around software design, you're building projects. Another is around games, you're building games. Another is digital media, you're basically making movies and videos. So there's all these subcategories. The two that we're kind of most passionate about, my team's most passionate about, is software design. It's called SDI, Software Design Invitational, and the other is game design. And basically we're looking for higher ed students to, form teams of up to 4 people and build significant projects.
You're going to sponsor those teams or train them, or what's the...
So that's a great question. The overall theme of the contest, let me tell you about the theme and I'll tell you about what we're trying to do. Maybe you can even play a role, so we'll talk about that too.
We'll talk about that.
So in the Software Design Invitational, the goal is to have these student teams of up to 4 students build a solution under the theme. The theme is solve the world's hardest, toughest problems with technology. Pretty abstract.
Okay.
So what we do is say, think about the United Nations Millennial Goals. A couple of them are, improve fetal health or child health, improve maternal health, kind of help eradicate AIDS, universal education for all. And so we say, if you think about those tough problems abstract, if you start to think about those specific things, a little more concrete. And we've seen some really innovative ideas. So let me give you one example to make it even more concrete. The team that won the U.S. Imagine Cup competition last year developed a special lens that they connected to a Windows mobile phone. And the intent of their application was to be able to take it to an area in the developing world. And by simply using this phone, you could take a picture of a person's retina. And on the device, they had algorithms written. So they didn't have to transmit to a server in sub-Saharan Africa. That can be a challenge. Mm-hmm. But they had written algorithms on the device that actually could detect 6 diseases. A couple of them I remember, sickle cell anemia, diabetes. So think about it from the perspective of somebody that hasn't had the opportunity to get health care. Now suddenly, early in their life, they get this picture taken of their retina. It's detected that they have diabetes, and now there could be a treatment program outlined for them before it got really bad and they needed more significant medical attention.
So the students are getting practical experience of working with technologies, and they're doing some good for the world.
They are
providing a service as well.
Was
that built on a Microsoft platform?
It was actually built. That's part of being in the contest is around using Microsoft technologies and tools.
Oh, is this a Microsoft contest?
It is a Microsoft contest.
Right.
Yeah. You asked kind of how we help. There's a number of resources that we have available to students. So one of the things that we do for students in science, technology, engineering, math is called MSDNAA, Microsoft Developer Network Academic Alliance. Basically, for any science, technology, engineering, and math department, they can have access to our latest and greatest tools and servers and operating systems.
Okay.
So it's great. Build a solution. Well, here's the software that gets you started. We have training that goes along with it through IT Academy Student Pass. So it gives them skills either on the IT side or gives them skills on the development side to actually build these solutions. And then
these are all students or Imagine Cups participants, or who are these people?
ITA Student Pass is open to any student.
And this is free, or is it just heavily discounted software?
That's a great question. It's heavily discounted. So literally, a department could cover every faculty member, every student in their instructional labs for under $400.
Okay, so sounds a lot like the BizSpark program.
It's exactly. That's a great way to think about it. We also have, one of the things at Microsoft, we have a number of programs. We also have DreamSpark. Okay. DreamSpark is a subset of our software, but it's available to all students. So it includes Visual Studio, Windows Server 2008 is in there. So that's another way for the students to get software.
Okay.
Well, let me tell you about two things about Imagine Cup. The URL www.imaginecup.us is the site people can go to, and I said that you could potentially help out, or a user group or a community can help out. Literally what we're trying to do is create a fantastic student experience. So whether a student wins or not, that they felt like, I've learned something, I've made connections with there's kind of this gap between I'm a student and I enter the workforce.
Right.
What we see Imagine Cup doing really well is allowing students to build a significant project. And what we're trying to do is get what we're calling advisors from industry to sign up on the Imagine Cup website. There's a drop down that says industry professional. And then what we're trying to do is connect the industry professional to teams. So literally, I'm a team, I'm trying to build a solution. Maybe I'm this team that I give you the example of. They have the camera, they have the Windows mobile device, and they're trying to build this application. As an industry pro, you might have experience that you can bring, either from the perspective of, who's your user, what are you trying to do for them, what problem are you solving, how can you tell the world about that problem in an engaging way, to technically what you've done isn't going to scale, or have you considered doing it this way instead? That might be easier and faster.
All right, so you're looking to recruit advisors, people that
Advisors, absolutely.
are already in the real world in the industry to
Absolutely.
help out these teams of students.
Yep.
And I actually, just to let you know, we have talked to Jennifer, and I won't be doing that advisor role, but I do run a user group, and we've been promoting that in the user group, trying to recruit
Oh, fantastic.
people there.
That's
so
great.
There's a pool of about 60 people. I mean, that hopefully we'll get somebody out of that.
That'd be
at
great.
that time.
We've seen some folks sign up already, and I mean, it's one of those things like, it's a great opportunity to get back, right? It's the next generation of technologists. You're giving them practical skills. I mean, from a student standpoint, it becomes an amazing resume item. Now when you go in an interview, they're able to talk about, I built this project for Imagine Cup. Here's what we did. Here's specifically what I did. And for teams that have success and go to the U.S. Finals or the World Finals, an amazing experience. We fly into Redmond for the U.S. Finals. If they win the U.S. Finals, they get to go to New York and participate in the World Finals. So they're literally on the worldwide stage competing as a U.S. team. It's pretty impressive experience.
Wow, very nice. Anything else you want to talk about?
Those are kind of the big things for me. We're running a series of boot camps, as I mentioned.
Yeah.
If folks are interested in learning about Azure, the website is azurebootcamp.com.
Okay. You had one here about 6 months ago, I think, in Detroit.
That's
Is
correct.
that coming back to Detroit?
I have to look at the schedule to see. I know that we're in the process of scheduling them again now.
I'm asking for selfish reasons. I missed the first one.
No. I think that's perfectly reasonable. I'll tell you what. I'll follow up with you on that. Maybe
Okay.
when we post this, if we're going to have one in this region, we can throw that information out there so
Right.
people can participate. The other is if folks are on the IT side, we have these deployment. They're not boot camps, but we have deployment sessions that we're basically running. That's a great opportunity to learn more if they're interested. And then Windows Phone 7, we're not doing these 2-day formats, but we're doing a 1-day boot camp format. We'll be doing that throughout the rest of the year. So if people are interested, taking a look at Jeff Blankenberg's website, jeffblankenberg.com. He'll have links to where the events are and the dates for them.
Okay. I noticed you've gotten away from the MSDN events and the ARC Ready events that you used to do quarterly. This is sort of filling that gap, I think. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a gap between I went and heard something, and I was able to put my hands on it and try it.
Okay.
You don't reach as many people clearly when you're doing a boot camp. I mean, there's a lot more logistics. People have to have machines. You have to, sometimes all the pieces aren't there. You got to walk through a lab. Maybe a piece of code got missed. But the experience that you get is literally you've experienced the technology, and you walk out of the room going, okay, I do more than understand it. I can actually implement it. I can do something with it. I saw how it worked.
Okay.
And for us, that's kind of the reason we made those changes. Is I think that it's you walk away saying I've learned something that I can go apply if I want to, as opposed to I saw someone present, it was really interesting, I have awareness of it. We're really trying to get people excited about it and hands-on the technology.
All right. Before I go, I just wanted to let you know, I told you this before, but through the local community, I've had a lot of dealings with your team, Brian and Jennifer and Jeff and Matt. Terrific group, terrific team. So I'm not telling you anything you don't know already.
No, I've heard that, and they're it's a pleasure for me to work with them as well. So they're great.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
you being on my show.
I appreciate you taking the time with me today. It's been a pleasure talking with Technology and Friends today.